Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Glow Again podcast. Let me start with a question. What do you think life would feel like if you moved through life as a C student? Truly, I want you to think, if I just stopped striving for perfection, for an A in everything I do, in the way I speak, in the way that I, like how many things I get done in the day and how good I am at the hobbies I'm working at the skills I'm doing, my business. If I decided to move through life as a C student, how would that feel? Doesn't it feel more fun? Doesn't it feel a little bit less about other people and it feels more about you? I was that student in middle school and high school who I was so hyper obsessed with getting an A in everything. I would cry my fucking eyes out. I was like depressed if I got a B plus, you guys. It was insane. I even had this middle school teacher. I had gotten, I think, a B plus on a test or something, not even like the overall class. It was just like one test. And the teacher had pulled me outside, sat me down, and told me, none of this matters. He was like, this does not matter. I remember that being like pretty impactful at the time, but obviously all through high school, I felt the same way and a little bit into college, but definitely not as much. But I really looked at life in this way that I was only, it was only an acceptable life to get A's, to be perfect at the things I do, to just know things, to just be smart. Like that was the only acceptable way to live life. And this bleeds into just how we move now, not even about grades or learning stuff, but to always have your house super clean, always be feeling good, and always say the right things, never stumble on your words, always have the best lighting. Like there's so many things that we move in life with this desire to be an A student. But I want you to ask yourself, why am I striving to be an A student? And why can't I be a C student? Because C's mean you get the concept. C's mean you took action. You are moving. You know what you need to know to pass, to keep moving, to go on to the next thing. You start to realize that A's, striving for A's, and that being the only acceptable thing, is that was for other people. But C's are for you to have the experience of this new knowledge of, moving forward. C's are for you, right? And I'm saying this, I'm like using school as an example, but this is just like lifestyle. What would life look like if you move through life as a C student in your endeavors of work, of career, whatever? For example, this podcast for me, the only reason I am still doing this is because I have this C student mindset with it. If you go through my podcast, like I don't know if you've listened for a while or if you even pick up on these things. These are things I notice, but there's so many things that are inconsistent with this podcast. Like one, when I post, obviously not very consistent. Sometimes I do just audio. Sometimes I use my wire headphones. Sometimes I don't even market it. Sometimes I just post them. Like there's so many things, but it's because I'm in this mindset that I'm just figuring it out. I'm moving with my energy. I'm letting myself just produce the quality of the content, and that everything else is just not that important. Like I'll figure it out and it'll slowly get better with time and the aesthetic of it will improve. And that's just what happens as you build a skill. But the actual moving and like doing things, I'm coming at it with this C student mindset. And that's the only reason I'm still here. Because if I needed it to be perfect, if I had that mindset, I would have stopped. I would have stopped because I didn't like what I had to say. I can't, you guys, I can't even listen to my first episodes. They're probably not that bad, but like, I know I've changed so much since those first episodes, but I keep them on there because you really see the progression of just me figuring out what I want to say and how I say it and whatever. But I decided it was okay that my editing skills were terrible and that you can hear all of the chops in the words that I edited out and that the quality wasn't great. I don't even think I used a mic, like anything. I think I just spoke into my phone for the first couple. And there's just so many things that I was like, I'm just going to be a C student because that's what makes life feel fun. And what I think happens is when you get to the point where you realize, I just want to live my fucking life. I want to experience the best things that this life has. I want to actually enjoy my days. Then you allow yourself to be a C student because that's where it's at. That's where the like potency of life is in being a C student, because you're allowing yourself to make mistakes. You're allowing yourself to feel all of your emotions. You're allowing yourself to be a cyclical being. You're giving yourself grace. You're trying new things. You're talking to people without, masking all of your words and trying to be perfect. Like that's where the juice is, because we are human, because it is in our nature to be flawed, to mess up. Like we are going to mess up. And so if you have this embodiment of that's okay, that's not something I have to overcome. That is okay. That is actually acceptable. That is an acceptable way of living, of messing up and being a C student. Then all of a sudden, life feels so much more fun, so much like it just feels a little quieter in my brain, honestly, to be able to move through life in this way. And so how I want you to take this can be about actual skills, like just post the thing, just start the class, go to the dance class and just do it. It could be about that. And I think it is a way of living in everything you do, of giving yourself grace, penciling in your human into your day. Like, be a C student in productivity. Like, be a C student in, I had all these things on my list and I got 7 out of the 12 things done. Fuck yeah. I'm going to get to the next day. I'm going to get whatever I need to get done. Sure. I don't need to go above and beyond. I don't need to. If it's fun, then sure. If it makes me feel good, sure. Then I'm going to go for it. But I don't need to, because I'm living this life for me. I feel like I've just gotten to this point in life where I truly realize how silly all these little rules of living are. Like all of these, we just have such boxes that we're put in. And this is going to sound morbid, but we are all going to die. None of us make it out alive. None of us. And so I say that because it gives you so much understanding of when you're here, how important it is to enjoy this time here. Like, enjoying my life matters so much that I am so willing to give up other people's opinions, to give up comparison with other people's lives, to look at my life and say, it is okay to be a C student here. It is okay to be where I'm at. I truly believe that we are here. Our souls are here in this human experience for joy. And that all this work that we do, all of this like therapy and spiritual learnings and self-development practices, everything we're doing is so that way we can get the fuck out of the way. Like we're training our brains how to get out of the way for our soul to come through and express itself as joy. Because I do believe that that is our inherent state. When we're not in the way, when all these like limiting beliefs are not bombarding our minds, then our soul has this space to come through and express itself. Like when you find yourself focused on the beauty of a flower or something so simple and you're not thinking about all of your limits, you suddenly feel this energy move through you. And it's because you removed the block. You became an open channel. And so your soul was truly able to express itself through you. And joy is its natural state and its goal. Like we are here for joy. And so this is one of those limiting beliefs. This is one of those blocks, is that we need to be perfect in everything we do. And so to let your soul come through a little bit more is to start moving through life as a C student. So yeah, I mean, just take a little look at your life and see where are you not giving yourself grace? Like, give yourself grace for being a human. It is okay to be human. Just ask yourself, if nobody else was here or part of this equation, would what I'm doing be enough for me? Am I getting the experience of life? Am I enjoying myself right now? So yeah, just look at your life and ask yourself, where am I not giving myself grace? Is it in the way I'm showing up in my work? Am I trying so hard to just know things and just be this like super skilled person without learning the skills? Like, am I allowing myself to go step by step? Am I allowing myself to just learn a little bit every day? Because that's how it happens. That's how it happens. Am I allowing myself to do that? Am I allowing people to cringe out at me during the process? That's another thing which we've talked about before in another episode. But this idea of cringe is that we don't allow ourselves to have the cringe. And something Florence Given says, which I talked about, is that I'm not cringy. Something in you cringed, right? We're all brought up differently. So based on your beliefs, something I'm doing is going to trigger some people and then not trigger other people. So knowing that everybody has a different opinion in life, and you get to this point where you accept that there's going to be haters and there's going to be fans. Whatever. There's going to be haters and there's going to be fans. And I'm not trying to get everybody on my side. Then I also give myself more permission to show up with cringe, quote unquote cringe, to allow myself to be a beginner, right? There's so much more allowance there when you're not trying to get everybody on board. So let's just recap really quick. I want you to ask yourself, how would it feel if I moved through life as a C student? How would it feel, right? It feels so fucking good because you're allowing yourself to express the parts that are inherent in who you are. You're a human who has flaws, and you're giving yourself acceptance there. And then give your life a little bit of a run through of seeing, where am I not giving myself grace? Where am I not allowing myself to be a C student? And then practice it. Try to just see how much you can give yourself grace, even though there's a part of you that's like wanting to freak out. Like the next time you're not productive, I want you to literally give yourself a pat on the back and say, I love you anyways. And what you've done today is good enough, and it's going to get us to tomorrow, and tomorrow we'll do what we need to do. I love you anyways. And I love you. I love you. I'm not just letting you off the hook and like saying, we'll get it next time, Tiger. No, I fucking love you and I'm proud of you, and you're doing this life thing and you are doing amazing. And that's all you needed to do. You just need to be a C student in life. That's it. You don't need to get 12 out of 12 things done on your to-do list. Who cares? Who cares? Them. And we're not working for them. You're living for your life. You're living for you. You're living for you. I'm living for me. I'm living for me. I'm living for me because I'm here for joy. And I want to enjoy this life because it's silly and we all die anyways. And the last part to recap is to allow the cringe to be there in those, like in being a C student, allow yourself to mess up. Allow yourself to mess up your words. Allow yourself to be a terrible guitar player in the beginning. I don't know. Allow yourself to have a bad first day and to stumble on your sentences. Allow the cringe to be there and recognize that cringe is an illusion, that is a projection onto what other people are thinking. And that if you yourself allow cringe to be there, you are set free, because then there's no cringe, right? You're just like, oh no, I'm just a human being a human. So there's actually no cringe. Really think about that. If you allow cringe to be cringe, then you set yourself free, because you're the only one experiencing the flush of emotions, the flush of chemicals through your body that don't feel good when you cringe. But if you don't cringe at being cringe, no one's suffering. The only people that are suffering are maybe the people out there, but that's an illusion. That's your own projection anyways. It's like, you don't have to subscribe to cringe. You don't have to. Yeah. All right. I love you guys. And I think that this is also a reminder for myself to just show up more on here, because I actually love podcasting. I actually love giving you guys the little nuggets that I know. It like brings me, like me giving creates energy within me. So there is this like cycle happening. And the things that stop me are when I'm trying to be an A+ student, where I'm like, the lighting needs to be perfect, the audio needs to be great, the editing, whatever. But sometimes I'm just like, I just have an idea, and that's what you want. You don't like, you want to hear the juice of the idea. You want the C experience. You don't need the A experience. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's helpful. Yeah, I get that. Like having nice visuals, sure. But that's not necessary to make an impact.